Good evening. You're listening to Eagles on Air through the Sportanarium stream. And tonight we have Ben and Alex, the usuals, but we're also joined by Scott, who's a Man United fan. We were going to have some Spurs fans on, but I'm afraid they've all shirked it because it's now 1-1 between Spurs and Palace. So they decided not to come on. But, you know, they're a bit shy. So we'll make do with Scott. He's a United fan and he's buzzing after today's result, that's for sure. He's Boot Your Kid on Twitter, which is quite an original name. So give the guy a follow. Feel free to follow Scott. Top guy, top lad, top banter, and he's also an avid Rangers fan. So yeah, give him a follow. Evening, Scott. How are we?
Evening, mate. Yes, I'm quite happy with all the results today, barring obviously Celtic's ineptitude to beat Dundee United. Not such a big Rangers fan, in fairness. You know, it's not. It wouldn't be the biggest love of my life. However, I do have a brother-in-law who is a season ticket holder at Ibrox, and it can be quite fruity at times at home. So it can, you know, it gets quite raucous. So it does. But certainly, Rangers wouldn't be the second love of my life.
Well, the failure of Celtic to beat Dundee United. I mean, what's going on at Celtic? It's a strange season in the Premier League, let alone in Scotland.
Yeah, to be honest, Neil Lennon was never the correct appointment after Rodgers sold us out or sold Celtic out, what, 2.5 years ago, whatever. Lennon was a stopgap. He's a limited manager with limited capabilities, limited skills, and he fights. He breaks down the dressing room wherever he goes. So Lennon was never the person for Celtic at the time. You know, he was the sort of all-conquering hero who come back. Yeah, we'll pull him out of a hole, do this, do that. But he was never. And lack of investment and probably a wee bit of we were a wee bit complacent. You know, thinking Rangers wouldn't do it, and Gerrard being a relatively rookie manager. But in fairness to him, he has turned it around. He has turned Rangers into a decent team this year, and it gives me great pain to actually admit he has actually done a decent job. You know, so Celtic have been dire for the last 7, 8, 9 months. As I say, I think that they just sort of thought 10 in a row was coming. We had the treble, we had, you know, the quadruple, whatever. But it's been terrible. So it has the last 3 or 4 months, and unfortunately, Rangers have capitalised on that.
At least you've got one aspect of your life going well. I mean, United seem to be sort of coming back to the boil a little bit. I mean, admittedly, their nemesis this season has been Crystal Palace. I mean, you know, we're undefeated against you with 4 points. You know, we had you in our back pockets, to be fair. And Ben and Alex will agree with me. You know, we'd rather play Man United every game, really. I think, boys, wouldn't we?
We would have more of a chance. We'd have shot probably top 10, wouldn't we?
yeah, Champions League, boys.
Some boys.
Sorry, guys, just add Zaha on for Eze.
Yeah. Oh, Eze's gone off.
I bet he's injured. Yeah, for the listeners tonight, we are talking whilst the Palace Spurs game is on, and currently it's 1-1 thanks to a fabulous Benteke header, which is exactly what that boy does. Put him in the box, last man, crossing the ball in, bang, there it goes. And I've been arguing since God was a boy. That's all he needs to do. But when you've got a football terrorist like Hodgson as a manager, he don't understand the players and he plays in completely wrong. And unfortunately, the world of social media disagrees with me. They think that Hodgson's doing a good job. Well, you know,
in fairness, you've actually got 2 football terrorists, if that's the case tonight, with Jose on the other side.
Well, do you know what? The irony is that, and I was, you know, if the Spurs lad had come on, Nathan, you know, I would have said quite happily, I'd have Mourinho at Palace. I think Mourinho actually loves Palace deep down. There's some kind of connection there, some kind of chemistry. But, you know, Palace this week, they've had a brilliant week. Last 3 games, you know, we'll be honest, Scott, we absolutely stole that game against Brighton. I mean, 2 shots, 2 goals, 100% hit rate, a worldie from Mateta, and a worldie from Benteke as well. A fabulous goal to win it. Didn't expect anything out of the game against you tonight. I didn't expect anything, but currently at 1-1. To be honest with you, I'd quite happily take a draw. But we look like we've got the upper hand at the moment, so we might even sneak a win.
Well, it's another Palace player booked. No Tottenham players as of yet, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, the draw against Fulham is actually looking like a really good point. I mean, Liverpool today. I mean, Scott will like this because he likes anything downfall-wise with Liverpool, but you never saw them beating Liverpool.
2-1 Spurs.
Oh, shut up.
Are you lying?
No, I'm honest. Yeah.
No.
Fail.
For God's sake.
Unfortunately, it is.
Oh, well, to be expected
It
anyway.
was good while it lasted. About 5 minutes.
Yeah, Bale.
Yeah.
Bale, the player that they've all slated on social media. I'm just looking at the goal now by the looks of it.
About 2 minutes behind.
Oh, it's another header. It's a free header, and it's Kuyate at fault. Didn't even
Two
move.
free headers.
Shocking. But anyway, boys. I mean, what's your thoughts on this week in terms of the points that we've got aside of the Spurs game?
Performance-wise against Man United, I think that's the best performance that we've put out in about the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that. Defensively, we were solid. Going forward, didn't really offer a lot. But against Man United, I'd take that.
Yeah, I mean, Cahill, I think he's been at the heart of everything we've done in the last 3 or 4 games, especially since he's come back. He's been phenomenal. I mean, are we thinking that we give the guy a new contract? Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah, I think so. Until we get someone better, there's no point in letting him go. Seemed ludicrous to do it. He seems to have moulded into the team pretty well. Seems to get them organised. As I say that, I watched the battle going.
When he was coming out of contract at Chelsea, I would have taken it at United 18 months ago, a year ago. So
Arsenal, I think, should have nabbed him. They were in desperate trouble at the time. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans were upset they didn't get him.
Guys, it's just got a lot worse for you, sorry.
Well, great.
Are we 3-1 down now?
We are.
Yeah.
Getting smashed now.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Right,
What a team topped by Rodson, the terrorist.
Right, Hodgson out.
Keane has just scored an outstanding goal. However, I think there's a VAR check for offside.
I bet it's for you.
What's that?
Keane,
Are they just giving a foul against Will for that? That's never a foul. Have a word. These Tottenham players go down easier than a 2-year-old.
Scott, I've seen obviously a lot of criticism of your defence, and I know you've done really well to get second at the moment, and a fantastic win against Manchester City today. But I've noticed a lot of criticism, especially of Maguire and Lindelof. I mean, are you thinking that this season, when it finishes, that they need replacing?
Maguire doesn't need replacing. I think United with Maguire at the sort of heart of the defence is a good move, but he needs someone fast beside him. He needs someone with speed to operate alongside him. He doesn't have the pace, and sometimes he's caught out occasionally for positional awareness as such. However, if you get someone in beside him with speed who can mop up his mistakes, but any big high balls coming in, any crosses coming in, and at times he leads the ball out. He attacks well, and he counter attacks. No, I think in fairness, Maguire needs to stay, but we need another faster, sort of younger ball playing centre half in beside him.
Because the weird thing is, I see a lot of people criticising either one or the other, and then there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, Bailey needs to start." And what would you say is your best defensive pair?
Bailly and Maguire all day long, although all he seems to think is Lindelof and Maguire.
Because I know we didn't challenge you with anything specific, too specific. Well, PVA at the end got in, and he should have scored, to be fair. But it just seemed like it was just too easy for us against you.
Yeah, and it has been. It has been for numerous teams throughout the season. So it has. Lindelof, I believe, is too, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, he's too tactically naive for the Premier League. He gets caught out of position a lot of times, and he gets caught, and at times he looks like a bloody rabbit in the headlights. So he does, whereas Maguire, I think Maguire always sort of shows authority. He seems composed in what he's doing. However, the lack of speed at times is a concern. And that's where Bailly complements him. I would play him alongside Maguire all day long. But I believe that during the summer we'll make another centre half signing.
Who do you think that's going to be? Because there isn't anyone out there to sign really, unless it's someone in the twilight of their career. You're going to pay over the odds.
Well, if everything is as what they're saying it is in Milan, where they've missed out on a Lukaku payment, and it looks like they still owe us 43 million plus a 4.3 million penalty for not paying on time one of his payments. It looks like Skriniar could be a possibility, and I would take him all day long. He's an outstanding centre half.
Is he young? Or is he old?
No, he's about 28, 29 or so.
Right, okay. But then that's what that just vindicates the point I've made, really, isn't it? There isn't anyone out there defensive-wise to sign that's not coming through or showing some really good ability.
I think with regards to the best centre half in Europe, yet again Bayern Munich, sort of stole a lead in everybody. United were linked with him, Liverpool were linked with him, Chelsea, everybody, Paris Saint-Germain, that Upamecano kid from Red Bull Leipzig. And all of a sudden, they were talking 60 million last year, 70 million, everything like that. And then all of a sudden, Bayern activate a 38.6 or 38.5 million, buyout clause and have him secured. He's probably the best prospect in Europe at the moment.
How much do you think that's going to cost you?
Yeah.
How much do you think that'll cost you, Scotty? 60,
for a new centre half? Yeah. New centre half's going to be 60, 70 million at least.
Ben, we'll just move back to Palace a second. I know you wanted to bring up McCarthy. We need to let him go. He's just constantly getting injured all the time. It's just a pointless player to have.
I don't think he played a forward pass in the Man United game. I saw a lot of tweets sort of take the mick a little bit, but we've got Gyro's our best midfielder, and he gets dropped straight away for a player who's literally just come out of injury, and he gets injured again because Roy's trying to stretch 90 minutes out of him straight away. Yet we see Wilf, and Wilf gets 45 minutes. So explain that to me.
It's just it's really bizarre because every time McCarthy gets the ball, he plays it back. You don't even look forward. It's just a backward pass. And after time he gets booked, after time he exposes us and causes that as a problem. And I think he's 30, isn't he?
It's pretty old.
Yeah, so at 30, to renew his contract, I mean, I think we just need to let him go. And Gyro should be starting every game. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm surprised that Gyro started this game because Hodgson he's got something against the guy.
I don't think we had anyone else, did we? MacArthur's not fit, I don't think.
I don't think MacArthur. Oh, that was unlucky. I don't think MacArthur is going to come back before the end of the season at this rate.
Well, it's like Nathan Ferguson. I think there's been a hiccup with him there.
Yeah, he's come back to training, but I think he's taken another knock.
Wow.
Yeah, and same with Klein. the physios are saying the scans are good, and he's saying that he can still feel it.
I think we potentially might have dropped a you know what with Ferguson, because he's been missing all season. He's not even played a game, and every time he comes back, he gets injured again. So either he's rushing back too much, or our physio department's just not getting it right.
Or he's
Been over a year, like you say.
He's probably after Conor Wickham's crown.
And you ain't beating that.
Did you know? I was quite interested. It's not interesting. It's shocking, to be fair. But I thought that Conor Wickham's contract was renewed for 3 years, but at the same wage. But it wasn't.
Is it lower?
It was renewed at 80 grand a week rather than 60 grand a week.
What?
Well, he's laughing all the way to the bank, isn't he?
Scott, Conor Wickham, right, has played for us about 6 times in 6 years, and he's by the time his contract finishes, his current one, he would have earned £20 million from us.
Some of the wages, some of the contracts I see being dished out, at the moment is shocking, to be honest. We renewed Phil Jones's contract, I think it was 6 months ago. So we did for 100, 110, 120 grand a week. Look at the wife I've got. Just comes on me a beer.
Look at that, live on air.
Yeah. We renewed Phil Jones' contract for like 120 grand a week, for another 3 years. Wow. It's an easy life.
He's 29 now, isn't he, or something stupid like that?
Yeah.
Feels like he's been around forever.
In fairness, when United, I actually remember the day that the deal was broke for United to sign. I was actually sitting at my niece's wedding. I was sitting in the chapel with my phone out, sitting on the internet, and I'm going to everybody, United we're about to sign Phil Jones. Brilliant, 15 million or whatever it was. He's the best young prospect in England, the best centre half. Fergie loves him. It was just brilliant. And we've had a lot of distorted faces since.
Yeah, the thing is, if Hodgson is still around next season, the irony is you'll probably sign him from United. He's nearly 30 now, so we need that experience. We haven't got it.
I bet that's not too far fetched, though, Steve. What you're saying?
How does Scott feel about Wilf? Do you think he'd get into United too?
I think it was the wrong move. It was the wrong move at the wrong time for him. If it had been 2 or 3 years older, he was his early 20s, late teens, early 20s when he signed for United. If he had been a wee bit more mature. Listen, he's an outstanding player. There's no doubt about it. Zaha is an outstanding player and has been, and he's proved himself in the Premiership over the last 4 or 5 years. I just think United at the time wasn't for him, and especially when Fergie wasn't there.
I think
Fergie, somebody to nurture him, somebody to look after him, somebody to sort of show him the way. But with a new manager in Moyes at the time and things like that, I think it was a shame it didn't work out for the lad.
Yeah, because obviously Fergie believes in youth, and he's brought a lot of younger players through. But I know Moyes, he's got that philosophy of, I want solid, reliable European-based players. He couldn't even get a look, he couldn't get on the bench, which was a shame for him. But obviously, for us, couldn't be more happier. I mean, he's given us a decade, and for us, he's a club legend. But I think, us boys are pretty much of the opinion that he's going to be leaving in the summer. I think this is the time that he goes.
Yeah. It's building up to it. You can almost feel it, can't you?
But then it's like you said, man. Who's got a 70 mil, 80 mil to pay?
Oh, someone will come in for it, I'm sure.
The thing is, the bit about it is, I don't think we'll get that. I think he'll end up going for 30 or 40 million.
I was even
exactly.
Yeah, but we don't need to do that.
The 70 million boat for Zaha has sailed about 18 months, 2 years ago. He's a 40 million player at the most.
And I think COVID has seriously affected that. There's not the money to spend either. plus the fact you can tell he's desperate to get away. He's had enough. You know, playing 4 years under Hodgson has stifled the life out of him, and he's not Palace level. His level's above us. We're just really fortunate that we got him and we've kept him. And at the time, he was probably thinking, "Oh, moving up from 80 grand a week or whatever it was to 150 grand a week." It was a no-brainer for him, and he signed a 5-year contract. But ultimately, that's backfired to him because he put us in the position where we could say no. You know, Everton came in with that 70 million bid. We probably should have taken it, to be fair, because I think he won't. I think we won't get 30-40 million for him roughly in the summer, because I think he's only got a year and a half left now, hasn't he?
I think it's more than that, isn't it?
Well, he was 25 when he signed the 5-year contract, and he's 28 now.
He had an extension though, didn't he, last year or 2 years ago?
I would say it's not next summer, the summer after. Yeah. But you guys aren't a bad team. You know, you're a team that's, how do you put it? You're like an annoying fly. It keeps it keeps buzzing around your nose. It keeps buzzing. You want to flick it away, but it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys will be safe this year. You know, you won't be relegated. You won't be relegated next year. You know, Steve, if you remember when the last thing that we done, the 3 teams that I tipped to go down, and I actually remember thinking after, oh my goodness, what have I said? Southampton. I actually tipped Southampton because I thought they last year outperformed their capabilities. Brighton and Sheffield United. That was the 3 teams I tipped to go down. I tell you what, I was looking at that today in relation to this, and I think, wow, I might be a wee bit of a sort of relegation Jedi type thing. You know, Sheffield United's gone. Brighton, I believe, are going, and Southampton are in trouble.
Yeah, I think Southampton were really fortunate to get the win this weekend over Sheffield United, which kind of relieved the pressure somewhat. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, I know a lot of Palace fans want Brighton to go down. I don't want them to go down. I want to play them in the Premier League and beat them and just keep pummeling that dominance that we seem to have over them. If they did go down, equally, it would be funny, and I would rinse a hell of a lot of people, and I'm sure Alex would, and I'm sure Ben would. I mean, Alex might even reactivate his account just to do that if that happened.
Hopefully.
What is your your hatred of Brighton? Where does it come from? Because you're like geographically you're not linked.
Manager. It's all from both having the same manager out. Someone threw some hot coffee over him, and he took out some change and threw it on the floor and said, "That's how much your club's worth." It sort of stemmed from there.
And ever since then, it's just got deeper and deeper and deeper. It's quite funny, really. I mean, I get on all right with a few Brighton accounts on social media. They're a good crack; they can handle it. But a lot of them are just, I mean, they're a bit like you with the City and the Liverpool accounts and stuff. There's quite a few of them that just can give it but can't take it.
They can find that block button quicker than they can find the reply button.
That's because us Palace fans are used to taking it.
The dark thing about it is, like for me, I'll give it because I can take it. I support Palace, mate. It's not like it's going to be weeks and weeks and weeks before someone can rinse me.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of this game, I'll probably go on and there'll be hundreds of messages rinsing the life out of me. But I think it's funny. I don't think the result's funny by any stretch.
Well, I shouldn't think it's funny though.
Huh?
Well, I shouldn't think it'd be funny. You see him smiling at the end of the game.
I'll tell you what, we've been off more attacking since Wilf's come on.
Yeah, but that's always the case. We've got an outlet there.
And Schlupp's on there now, right?
Yeah, Schlupp's on there.
Who's the kid that with the sort of dreadlocks and a bit of a beard?
Yeah.
Number
15.
Oh, you hit the post. Sorry. I know I'm spoiling this for you.
No, it actually makes it exciting for us, Scott, because normally when we watch a game, there's nothing. We don't even take a shot.
The guy, young lad with a bit of dreads and a bit of a beard, not. I tell you what, he's a handy enough player.
Is that Riedewald?
No.
Yeah. Riedewald, number 44. He likes to get in.
Exactly. You're the only. I think Roy Hodgson must be the only person that doesn't see that in him. He's got to be. He's got to be. What's?
I like a player who puts his foot in. I love Scott McTominay. Roy Keane was my boyhood crush. I would have had babies with Roy Keane if I could have had. I love a player who gives everything. McTominay. Guys like that who and that kid there, just watching him there for the few bits of he likes to put his foot in. He likes to get in the middle of
Wilf to hit the post.
I'm still not there yet, boys. I need a time machine at the minute. Still not happened.
I can see. What is it now? It's 69:35.
Oh, I'm on 68:03.
Oh, you're 5 minutes behind. I went for a pee and came back.
We needed that to go in, to be fair.
Man.
Yeah, but it's positive. Come on, Wilf. Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. This last sort of 3 or 4 games has been a lot more positive. Maybe it's the squad have realised that Hodgson's going to go. If the rumours are true that we're hearing, I mean, obviously all of us are hoping and praying that it's the case because the guy has seriously held us back as a club. Seriously held us back, and to have 9 games, Scott, this season where we haven't even registered a shot. How do you win games if you don't shoot? It's not possible. So we've probably done more shots in the last 4 games than we've had all season, I think.
That's probably not a joke either. It's probably fact.
Who do you get to replace him?
Well, we've had several conversations over the last sort of 2 or 3 previous shows. I mean, a lot of people are suggesting Eddie Howe. They're suggesting Thomas Frank at Brentford if they don't come. Steve Cooper at Swansea is another one being sort of discussed and stuff. But knowing us, we'll probably go out and get Mark Hughes or Chris Coleman. We seem to have this kind of affiliation with finding managers that are out of date, haven't got the attacking impetus, seem to have a solid track record of keeping teams up and helping them. So we end up, trying to bring these players in. Unfortunately, these managers in, the Allardyces, the Pulises of the world. So, I mean, for me personally, I'll quite happily have Thomas Frank.
Yeah, I think he would be a good fit. In fairness, I think Eddie Howe, and this is me with my 10 or 20% Celtic head on me, I think he's going to Celtic. He's going to rebuild his career north of the border.
The thing with Eddie Howe is I like him, and a lot of Palace. Oh, Scott has gone now. Let's hope he comes back. Are you there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm here. Do you reckon we're getting back in this?
Oh, it is.
I pressed the wrong button, probably. We got a way back in this, do you reckon?
So, as you were saying, Scott?
Sorry, I seem to drop out there. I think Eddie Howe will go to Celtic and rebuild his career in the same way that Rodgers did.
Yeah, I mean...
I think he
if you were a manager, would you come to Palace where you've got a fresh opportunity, or would you go to Celtic where you're going to be... I mean, providing they get through, you're going to be contesting Champions League football. So it's a difficult one, really.
I think with regards to Celtic, and Howe and Klopp, and we've got Gerrard. I believe that if things keep going the way they're going, Klopp won't be at Liverpool much longer. That's just my honest opinion. So it is. And then what happens if Liverpool come sort of, looking for Gerrard, because he's obviously the prodigal son that's going to take over.
Is Gerrard out of it? Too inexperienced for a job like the Liverpool one?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. He has won a title, and this is not me being the Celtic fan being better. Because one thing I'm not. I'm a realist. Rangers been the better team this year. Fair play to them. Hands up, hats off, whatever. But he is not cut out to manage in the Premier League, and I think we've seen that obviously with Lampard this year.
Problem is the expectation of those sort of jobs is too high. I mean, the expectation of Palace is just to survive. I'd argue, me and Ben have chatted about this in recent shows, and Alex has mentioned it previously as well, that we should be putting a philosophy in which says aim for the top 10. We might not achieve top 10; it might be beyond us. But if you aim higher, chances are you achieve higher. If you just accept the mediocrity of staying up, then players just play to stay up, and you don't see that level of performance.
Yeah.
But
you subconsciously accept that, don't you? Really, well, you can't help it. You just accept it. As long as we survive, oh well.
I mean, Gerrard, all day long, I'd have him as manager at Palace. I think that will be a good job for him to come in Premier League, prove you can do it at that level. And the good thing with that is a club like Palace wouldn't be expecting too much. If he goes in at Liverpool, which chances are it's highly likely he will, the immediate expectation will be trophies. And he will be under so much pressure straight from the off.
I know you're talking about managers at the minute, but may I just say that all three of Hodgson's substitutes have been attacking players.
He must be on the sauce.
He must be on the sauce.
Would you take Lampard?
Yeah. For the same very reasons as I've just mentioned about Gerrard. And also, the good thing with Lampard is he'll bring some of the youngsters through. I mean, you won't know this, Scott, but we've got 100% hit rate of youngsters coming through that have been class. So Wan-Bissaka came through, and then Mitchell's come through, but they've only come through and they've only played because of injury crisis. So only reason why they were called up, and they've both been class. And Hodgson just will not bring anyone through. I mean, he's named the kiddie on the bench. What's his name? Hammond or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it 4-1? 1-4. Getting destroyed. Love it.
It could be VAR offside.
I didn't even think they checked it on the last one, did they?
No, I don't think they did. Let's revert back to United, Scott, for a second. Obviously, you're probably going to finish second anyway.
No, we're going to win the league.
do you think do you think you can bridge an 11-point gap?
Do you know what I said to him? I'm in a lucky position where I've got a wife who loves football, who understands football, and I can sit and converse football with her.
Is she a United fan?
Do you know what? She's not. She's Scottish. She used to be a Rangers fan, but I've converted her.
Because if she's a United fan, there's a strong argument to say she doesn't understand football. But
no, come on. No, I have converted her. She is now a United fan, and she's a sort of semi-soft Celtic fan. No, not really. But I was sitting talking to her earlier, and I said, if we hadn't have lost now, and it's the whole big if this, if that, if this. But we have lost so many silly points to lower down the league teams. And I'm not denigrating Crystal Palace or anybody like that. But we have given so many draws away in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. And the ironic thing is, it's actually since Pogba has been out. And I'm one of Pogba's biggest critics, but I'll also be his biggest fan as such. Can we win the league? No, because I don't believe at United. We're 9 points behind tonight. I don't think City's going to lose 4 more games this season. that we're going to win. However, I think we will maybe push them very, very close to the end. And for me as a United fan, for where we've been at over the last 4, 5, 6 years, we've been in turmoil. I'll take that all day long. You know, now it's been a strange season. We all know that. Like United now haven't been beaten away since January last year at Liverpool. And all those things. Like Liverpool have now lost 6 games at home. So all those things taken into consideration.
Sorry,
it's
Scott,
a weird.
Can you just repeat how many games at home Liverpool have lost?
Last 6 in a row.
So same amount as what the trophies they keep banging on about that they won, isn't it?
That's one. Yeah.
That's going to be follows.
However, as a United fan, I always want to see excellence, and I always want to see trophies and that. But for where we've been, from the draws, yes, Mourinho served us up, the Europa League and various bits and pieces. But it was draws, it was poor football. But I would take where we're at now all day long over where we were 2, 3 years ago. Will we win the league? I can't see us pulling back 9 points. I can't see it.
Is Solskjaer the right man for you?
I'm a big Ollie fan. Big Ollie fan. There's been the odd time I've wobbled. And now I'm saying, I think he might be.
That was just on a night out, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it could be. I think in the long term, I think he has the measure of the bigger clubs. I think he has the persona, the personality, the attitude, and that to be a Man United manager. And I think he's humble enough to accept that, and he's also intelligent enough to project how he feels. I think he is. I've always been an Ollie fan. One of my biggest, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I had about 350 followers on Twitter. Now, not that means a big lot. And I put a very controversial tweet out one night. And within 2 days, I had 1,000 followers. Because I tweeted something quite controversial about Ollie. And I said rude words, etc., which I'm not going to repeat on here. And I think, everybody derided him, everybody degraded him and thought, he's a PE teacher, he's this, he's that, But against the top 6 managers and all these, guys, Ollie's had a very good record. It's against maybe the Roy Hodgins or you guys where we struggled.
Yeah, it's do you think that you can challenge for the title and win it next season though?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What do you need to achieve that? We
need a proven goal scorer, and I don't want, and I'll probably regret saying this because when we're saying it, I'll be going, yay. Haaland, we need a 25, 30 goal a season striker, and we need somebody to back up Maguire. I think left back and right back, Shaw is in the form of his life. Shaw is probably at the minute the best defender in England, and I'm talking across the whole back four. Wan-Bissaka, outstanding. In the middle of the field, I don't think we've got a problem. Rashford is lacking in confidence. He won't take a shot. He tries to take an extra dribble. He tries to take an extra pass. He needs to step back and start concentrating on football again. And that's not taken away from any of the things he's doing because he's standing what the lad's doing. But at the minute, his form, I think, is suffering because of every other thing that's going on in his life. But he tries to score a worldie every time. Take a shot, pull the trigger, score a goal. I think up front we're fine. Other than we need an out-and-out, 25, 30 goal a season striker. Midfield we're grand. We have 2 positions, and the Jadon Sancho one, he's gone. 108 million last year, not a chance. I'm actually glad we didn't buy him.
Yeah, I think he'll end up staying, to be fair. It's quite interesting you talking about some of the players that you'd like to come in. us boys at Palace, we just like to sign some players all together. I mean, we got 12 people out of contracts. I think we'll probably offer 2 or 3 out, boys. Do you reckon? Klein, MacArthur.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 possibly.
PVA, I think he's going to Arsenal. I mean, he won't play at Arsenal, but he'll pick up the money, which is what he wants, and he might get a few cup appearances. But I think we need to find a left back to back up Mitchell, and Mitchell's got to be number 1. I think I know Ward's been really good, a good servant. There's always a mistake in him, but Klein's a decent sort of option as well. And I think we need to dip into the free transfer market. What do you think about that, boys?
Well, it's always good to look at that. But to be honest, we're also desperate, especially with contracts renewing and coming to an end. But yeah, we'll see.
We'll look at Klein and Cahill.
Mm-hmm.
They've done their part for us. I think you're right that you can pick up gems, but we need to rebuild and get some youngsters in. Really, well, younger players.
I think Dreyer needs to be given an opportunity to play. I think Kirby needs to be given an opportunity to play. I don't think he will, but Dreyer specifically has been given some good plaudits. He's back from injury now. Banks as well, I think, could get in, but it depends on the manager we get. If we get the right manager in, these kids can come through. If we don't, then it just stays the same for them, in my opinion. I feel for Mateta. I know you had it down as an item to speak about. I don't think the guy is going to be able to do what's needed to make that move cemented.
Yeah, Roy seems to have his favourites, doesn't he? I know we go on about Luca always being in the team, but it just seems Benteke is at the minute. Benteke does fit Roy's system. Maybe Mateta just doesn't fit it, or if he's going to start playing, then he needs to fit that system, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I think he's got a lot to prove, and obviously he can score a goal. So, sort of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit.
I think we. I don't think we'll complete that move, because for Mateta specifically, because that's 17 million that we're gonna lose out of our transfer budget, and I don't think our transfer budget's any bigger than 30, maybe even less than that.
I hope we dip into some of the lower leagues. I mean, we're chasing the Watford matey, aren't we? We've been linked with him for the last couple of seasons.
So, but they want 30 million for him, and I think that's beyond our affordability. We've got Elise as well from Reading that we've been linked with. Personally, do you know what I would probably do? I know Benteke scored a few goals and stuff, and you know tonight he scored again. He might have his contract renewed, but I'd look at Tony at Brentford.
Well, we just got to dip in, like I said, dip into those leagues, look at the players that are doing well, and we should be able to pull them in. Go on, Mateta.
Watching this game tonight, you guys don't have a problem going forward.
We're not normally like this, though. We weren't like this against you.
But watching this tonight as a neutral observer, the last 10 minutes, you've ripped Spurs apart 4 or 5 times. You don't have a finisher.
Well, we haven't had a finisher for... Well, I mean, Benteke under Allardyce with 17 goals, but he was played right because Allardyce understands... A lot of people criticise Allardyce, but at least he understands players, their strengths and weaknesses. Yep. What is that?
It's a little bit disappointing, this, because a lot of their goals have been tap-ins, apart from Kane's worldie. But yeah, they've been very samey. All headers, pretty much, a couple of yards into an open goal. So that's got to be looked at, and especially after the defending against Man United. He just can't seem to get the balance right, can he?
He doesn't have the ability to mix the tactics up. That's been our biggest frustration this season, Scott. You know, games where we don't even shoot, games where we've got no ambition to go forward, we'd rather sit there for 80 minutes defending the game and hope for a couple of counters. But the problem is, like you said, you've nailed it. I haven't got someone who's clinical who can finish. So therefore, you've got to create a hell of a lot more chances to give yourself the opportunity to score. And, you know, that's just never going to work for us. We need to find a striker, but who that is, I'm not sure. But equally, at the same time, can we afford to find a striker? You know, can we pay? You know, the Mateta deal is what was it, 2.7 loan with 13 million completion, wasn't it, or something, boys?
Sounds about right.
And that's, you know, if we were to buy him, that's 16 million, and I think we're struggling even at that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but if we get a new manager, I just don't think that you can put them building blocks in place until we get a manager nailed down and his philosophy into play. Because if we're going to get another manager that's like Roy, then there, like you say, there is no point.
Well, we need the final day of the season, final game of the season rather, just needs to be played out. And, you know, next day, you know, Roy pretty much needs to sort of say, right, my time's done. Thanks for everything the club has done for me. And like, I suspect that the club knows who's coming in.
Yeah.
They can't say for obvious reasons, but I suspect that they know who it actually is going to be.
But then get them in already. What you got to lose? If we're saying we're safe, what's the danger? Thanks very much, Roy. Good luck to you. Get them in. Let them start. It's like pre-season when we don't sign players. To me, pre-season is all about getting your signings in beforehand, get them to gel, and then starting the season.
I think it'd be foolhardy to say that we're safe. I don't think we're 100% safe. There's a strong argument to say that we are, but I still think we need another win just to make sure of that.
Well, we got West Brom, didn't we? Got Villa. They're the easier games. Have we got Villa? Pretty sure we are.
I think we're fortunate that Grealish is out at the moment.
You're on 34 points. Another 4 or 5 points over 10 games will make you safe.
Yeah, the problem is we got City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Obviously, Spurs tonight.
Yeah, but you've also
railroaded us. But the hard thing to take is that at the moment, Scott, our under-18s is smashing the league at the moment. Absolutely smashing the league. They won 7-1 this weekend against West Brom. And if they're doing that well, why we're not bringing some of those in, I just fail to understand it.
That's one of the big things that United do. Obviously, they've got that young lad now, Shola Terry, or and the young lad that they signed from Atlanta, Amad Diallo. United do that well, and they do it regular. They just keep pushing. And these kids in. So in fairness, if you've got such a good youth setup, I can't see no reason. Obviously, Hodgson is the block there. It's him that's stopping that from happening. So he either A, needs to let youth come through, or B, he needs to stand aside, which I believe that's what all you guys want.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last season was weird, wasn't it, Ben? We had 7 games to go or something silly like that. And he said, for the next 7 games, because we're safe, I'll guarantee you I'll play some of the youngsters. And he played a kid called Pierrick, who's now been farmed out on loan. He gave him 8 minutes. And at the end, he was interviewed and he said, I gave him 8 minutes. He should get me a bottle of red wine. Like it was a gesture. Yeah, have 8 minutes, mate.
Nah.
If he's that good to make the team, then he's that good to play. He should be given the chance. But straight away, he's been loaned out, and it's just, we got an Academy 1 youth set up. It's just rendered useless. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, so it just boils down to the manager, doesn't it? I think it just needs to happen. I think Hodgson. I think I put down his record over 2021 or 2021. It's pretty decent apart from this game, but realistically, I didn't expect us to get anything from Tottenham.
No, I didn't. Given the fact that they crushed Burnley 4-0, I expected a similar sort of result. I mean, it's just hard to take. The football's just horrible. I mean, I know you guys sort of get annoyed about you not winning games that you should win, but at least you attack, at least you try. The football's just so boring that we play. It's mind numbing. It's like every game you watch, you should be owed that 90 minutes back.
Yeah.
Who owns Palace?
Say that again.
Who owns Palace?
2 Americans. They've got 51% in it, and Parish has got 49%.
Well, there's some other guy in there that just put 20 million into the academy.
Yeah, I saw that. Palace, the actual Palace account said something about a guy coming, but I don't know the details of it. Where did you see it, Ben?
Yeah, it was online. But 20 million, it's good. We just seem to be a bit stuck with these American investors. I think it was a promising proposition, and it's just sort of fallen flat on its arse. Like, I don't know whether Parish sold them a dream and then pulled the plug, but that stadium, what's going on with the stadium?
American investors here. we read the rule book on American investors. So we did. Let's buy your club. Let's put it in debt with your debt. Let's sit and take money out of your club for the last 15 years, and you're still in debt. Brilliant. The Glazers are the best businessmen ever. So there goes to guys who have bought Asda. They actually bought Asda with debt, and then they sold them their debt, and then they bought their debt, and they're going to take more money out of it. Brilliant. And they own the 3rd biggest supermarket in the UK. Brilliant.
We should approach Asda to take over the Sainsbury's aspect of our stadium.
I want Audi.
Yeah.
What about Lidl?
I used to be an Asda manager. Sorry, guys. I used to be an Asda store manager at a time, so sorry. That's why I'm sort of diverging it into that.
Wow.
Oh well. Say it again now.
Bring back Neto. We need Neto instead of Sainsbury's up here.
we should have co-op go in there.
Oh, that's
Just change it up.
Happy shopper.
Happy shopper. Londis. Londis.
Who we got next then? After that shower shit 4-1 result, who we got next, boys?
West Brom, I think it is, isn't it?
West Brom's got to be a must win, that really.
Yeah.
You have 34 points.
Yeah, but I don't know. West Brom's going to be hard.
They are playing all right, to be fair.
They got 0-0 today, didn't they?
0-0 with Newcastle.
They battled out on 0-0. Like Sam Muller here, you're talking about football terrorists. Sam Muller next to Steve Bruce. Oh my God. That's like the Osama bin Laden versus goodness knows whoever of the football world.
Can you imagine a pre-season tournament with Newcastle, West Brom, and Palace? It's not good. It's not a good thought, is it? It really isn't.
Hold on, guys. You're only 3 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah, true. But they had a stinker though, didn't they? Start.
Points.
That's not much of an accomplishment, I think.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I'm only.
It's just after that. this, I mean, like I said, this season's been a strange one, but just like, I mean, the results against you, the results against Leeds, the 5-1 against West Brom, our biggest away win ever. I mean, you wouldn't have suggested that we would have achieved those games, but equally losing to Burnley, losing to Newcastle, you know, those are the sort of results that are just so frustrating, and that's why us three boys spend every week for an hour just having a right old moan up.
It helps, doesn't it? Do you think?
Can I come on here every week and talk shit with you guys? Sorry.
You're totally welcome, mate. Totally welcome. You'd have to.
I'll come on every week.
You'd have to buy a Palace top though.
That's all right. That's okay. I will officially adopt Palace as my third team. So you get United, you get Celtic, and then I will adopt Palace as my third team. I promise.
Oh well,
I don't think the scoreline today really mattered, did it? It was just about getting Wilf back in, getting him some time. Didn't expect a result tonight, so him back for the West Brom game brings us some hope.
I'll be honest. I mean,
Go again.
the game against United, the game against Spurs, I thought we'd get nothing out of it. To come away with a point, I mean, that's a point more than what I thought. I'll take that all day long. But tonight, I just thought at their place, we haven't got a good record at Spurs anyway. And
Martin Kelly.
Well, Martin Kelly, yeah.
That was cup though.
Martin Kelly can't even get it on the subs bench.
That's exactly what I don't understand. How is Martin Kelly not getting a sniffing at the club? How? I've always thought he's reliable. Always thought he's reliable.
Is that not that Liverpool scummer who battered his mouth or something?
Yeah. Did he? He's definitely from Liverpool. I'll give you that one. But the second part,
I'm not sure about what the rest of it. But yeah.
All right.
Sounds as if you're in the know, Scott.
Sorry. I think there was a wee bit of controversy about him on social media a couple of years ago, where he maybe done the old sort of hairy side of hand sort of flick.
We're coming towards the end of our time now, boys. I'm just going to end it with Scott. I just want to check with you. What's been your highlight of this season so far?
The highlight has been the Premier League hasn't been so predictable. It hasn't been the top 5 or the top 6, walking all over the thing. It's been teams like West Ham, Villa, teams like Crystal Palace, all taking points off the big boys. And I think that has maybe sort of brought football back to a wee bit of reality. That money, and everything doesn't matter. When the fans are taken out of it, it's been a wee bit more of an even playing field. So whilst I want United obviously to be on top of the league and winning the league and stuff like that, but I think it's also been very good that it's been a more level playing field. Who would ever envisaged, a year ago, West Ham challenging for the top 4, Everton sitting with 2 games in hand, challenging for the top 4, all those things. So I think it's been a good thing for the league in general.
Great. Well, really appreciate you coming on tonight, Scott. As I said to the listeners, if you give Scott a follow, boot your kid. What an app! I love that. That's brilliant.
About your kid. No, here's a Belfast thing. It's about your kid.
I'll read that as boot your kid. I reckon you had a bad day one day and your kid wound you up and you thought, right, that's me app now.
Hey, Martin Kelly, this kid.
Oh well, Thanks for joining us, Scott. We'd love to have you back on another time when we play you next. Once we've beaten you again next season, which we probably will, we'll take those points. We'll get you back on. You've been listening to Eagles on Air through the Sportanarium stream. Thanks for coming on, Scott. Thanks again, boys, as usual, and we will reconvene next week.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Cheers. Thank you.